the Mailman, the show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. I'm Mike, the titular Mailman, and joining me as usual, the man behind this and so much other great Star Wars content, Jimmy, the old guy Jedi.
Yeah,
How you doing, Jimmy?
feeling older, earning that handle. Um,
Yeah.
Man,
How you dealing? How are you dealing with the end of summer?
it's not fair.
That's what I
Um,
expected.
but man, it's hard. I mean, think about you get a week vacation and stop going back. You get Christmas
Hmm.
break. Well, you don't get Christmas break. You work harder over Christmas.
Yeah.
You know what you do. But and then they just throw you right back in the fire. I mean, we don't have kids yet. They start
Yeah.
tomorrow, so it'll be all right. We'll get through
Yeah.
it. Um,
Well, how much of your life has been in academia? Like, you got your all years of high school and primary school and all that
well,
good stuff.
that like I felt like I was in college for 10 years. It might have been.
Yeah.
I got multiple degrees, and then teaching for this is my 13th year as a teacher.
13th
I
year.
think I've been with the school for 15 to 17 years or something like that.
So
15 years,
yeah.
16
So
years.
you've had more years in academia than you've had out. So you've just been living this life of
Yeah, I mean,
summer. Every year you got a summer.
yeah, I mean the only time the army,
Hmm.
that was it.
Yeah.
Before stint in the military. Yeah, that was the only time I didn't have this. I mean, I worked in the summers, but still had a summer.
Yeah.
So, but
You're living the good life, man.
yeah, how was it's been hot here. It's supposed to hit 100 degrees
Yeah.
again tomorrow, but how's things been for you?
Temperature wise, not bad. The temperature kind of broke here after Debbie came through and dumped a ton of rain on us. The weather's been like in the upper 70s, mid to upper 70s, so it's been pleasant. I know it's supposed to get warmer the rest of the week, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. That's the
Yeah,
one thing. I always hate my job until it's really hot or really cold, and I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I'm
I
not
got air
outside.
conditioning.
But yeah, all right, man. Um, so Jack and I got to talk about. We met last week for our first mailman or Jedi and the Mailman, and it was all about
Hmm.
D23.
Yeah, buddy.
Um, Jack and I talked about it. That came out today a little bit. We also did our Order 66. So we're kind of
Hmm.
piggybacking off of Jack and I's conversation on Sunday, which released today. Some of that will come out on YouTube, I hope, on Friday if I'm not too exhausted from having to work like some minion
Yeah.
for the first time in a while. But what when I say D23, what's the first thing that pops into your head from that event? And we'll go through some of the stuff, and I'll just kind of pick your brain
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But what was the big
Well,
thing for you?
probably the just the trailers. I guess we didn't have a trailer for Skeleton Crew yet, but there was some dribs and drabs, some good information out there, so kind of knew it was going. But the trailer that we were expecting for Andor season 2, that was probably my big happy moment, was getting to see that. It looks just phenomenal, dude. It's I don't think it's going to be quite the slow burn that season 1 was. It looks like there's going to be a lot more action, which is fine. And the way they have it set up, the 3 different segments, it's like 3 movies in a row. I hope, I'd imagine they're probably going to have it come out, 1 episode a week,
Yeah.
like they've been doing. But man, I'm sure we'll do a review show for it or whatever. But it would be probably the best way to watch it would be to wait till those 3 episodes are out and watch each separate arc, together. But
Because you didn't watch Andor when it was released, right?
no, I got to
And so
watch it
you got to
afterwards.
kind of
But I
binge through
still,
it.
yeah, well, I wouldn't say I binged it. I still kind of watched it. Me and my daughter Allison was still living here. She's moved out since, which is nice. We're becoming empty nesters slowly. But so every time that we'd have an evening off, we would catch up with, an episode of whatever Star Wars show was out, The Mandalorian, and then on through into Andor and whatnot. So I still watch. I didn't binge it. I probably watched a couple episodes back to back here and there, but it was still week to week for me, just not on the release date. So Yeah, I still got it in that kind of, drawn out pattern,
All
but
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well, I have it pulled up right now on my screen. I'll share this with everybody so they can kind of see, because we talked about this a little bit on Saturday, and I didn't look it up. And my thing was, all right, how long were these episodes? I could not remember.
yeah,
But I haven't watched. I love this a season, but I haven't watched. I don't think I've rewatched the whole season. I don't even know if I've rewatched episodes. I have rewatched some of Luthen Rail's speeches because I
yeah,
just blew
yeah.
my mind. But I mean, the shortest one, it looks like it's 38 minutes,
Hmm.
and like there's 54, there's 50, there's 46, there's 57. So if you go off of that,
It's
um,
3 separate movies.
yeah, well, no, it's going to be four because it's going to
Four,
be,
four, right? 4 years it's
yeah.
covering.
So it's going to be two. Let's say they just average 15 minutes, or
Hmm.
sorry, 45 minutes
45
each.
minutes.
It's going to be
Yeah,
a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. You take out
that's
credits and stuff, so you're getting
fantastic.
a 2 hour movie for every
Hmm.
year leading up to. That's nuts.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. Jason Wild joins us. Catalan Mistral joined. Thanks for joining, folks. If you guys have got comments, or let us know what you guys thought about D23. Like, what was your biggest surprise? What was your biggest takeaway? Mike and I are just talking right now about Andor and what to expect, kind of. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Still getting the hang of all of this. So we're talking about D23 news right
D23.
now. But yeah, so the Andor looks great.
Hmm.
Um, what did you think of? You were on the show with Tiara, and I almost said dived in. We dove into the
Skeleton Crew.
photos from
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew, and we expected there
Hmm.
to be a trailer. We got the
Yeah.
trailer. I was up. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I mean, that's late. I mean,
Yeah.
I know we got young. Maybe we have some young
Hmm.
people watching.
That's
That's late for
late for
me.
us old guys.
Yeah, I'm usually in bed way before that. But what did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was really cool. I liked the first thing that jumped out to me was seeing the kids at home, like in the suburbs. Like, it's so cool. Like, I don't think Star Wars has ever really explored normal people. You know what I mean? Like, you got your senators and you got your Jedi and you got your, poor boys on Tatooine, and it's never really followed like just your common middle class family. So it
Yeah.
was really cool seeing them in like the suburbs, and like we talked about how it kind of brought us back to our childhood, and that's not that we lived in a suburb, we lived in a small town, which is pretty similar to suburbs. So it just had that nostalgic feel to it.
Yeah, we talked a lot about that, the nostalgia for us, and we made fun of Tiara because she's so young. But yeah, I got that. I know some people were complaining, oh, there's suburbs in Star Wars. I mean, come on.
Of course there is.
There has to be like planets that represent all
Hmm.
kinds of different. There's gonna be crazy planets, and there's sand, and there's all these different things. Of course, there's just gonna be a normal.
Hmm.
People are working. How would you know? I mean, I would feel like that would be most of things.
Right.
So, but I thought it was cool. I love the way it's going. I feel like they didn't really tell us much. They kind of gave us the idea.
No,
But
they teased the fact that Jod Nanan, or whatever his name's supposed to be, Jude Law, maybe he's a Jedi. They didn't really make that clear. Kind of a nice little teaser with "You're a Jedi," and you see the keys come off the wall,
well, that
but
kid's
you don't
also
see it's
obsessed.
necessarily him.
Yeah,
So
that kid's obsessed with Jedi.
yeah,
From the get go of that trailer. Oh, old
right.
Jedi Temple. He's looking at Jedi
Hmm.
on his screen. If you guys are in one of the chats, what do you guys think? Do you think that Jude Law, was it Jod Narwood or something, or Narwood or
Something like
something?
that.
Yeah,
Something.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. You think he's a Jedi? Oh my goodness! Guess who just joined?
Who's that?
Magus himself.
Magus.
Yes.
Nice. How you doing,
Mike.
Mike?
So Mike's joined us. We got the trifecta here of nerds from high school.
Heck yeah.
So, but yeah, I think you're right. I kind of think he might be a swindler.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's gonna be like a bad guy, but a good guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna do the right thing
Maybe
when it
in the
matters.
vein of Han Solo, or yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So we got that. What were you surprised? There were a couple of things they didn't announce. We'll come
Hmm.
back to some of the stuff they did announce, but so the first thing they did not announce, and I completely forgot about it, was the fact that they didn't say anything
No
about Acolyte
animation.
and no
Yeah,
animation.
and no
Both of
animation.
those
Yeah,
things. So
right.
two things.
I guess with Mandy Jacinta being on the panel, we all had speculated that maybe, but I guess we got a little ahead of ourselves with that. Uh, Man, it would have been great to know that a second season is coming, but I guess not. But
Yeah.
the fact that there's no animation in the works too, that's kind of disappointing. I mean,
What do
two
you
big
think it's not in the
disappointments, but
works though? I mean,
well,
Mike
I was thinking
Mailman.
about this when you guys were talking about it today, and I was thinking about it, and as disappointing as it is, if there's no one there, like if Dave Filoni's otherwise occupied and he has nobody that he can necessarily really trust to shepherd a new animated series through, I would rather them not be doing something instead of rushing something out that may not be as good as up to the quality of what they've released so far. So
Yeah.
I guess that's the only good way to look at it is, maybe in the future and maybe and it's just not going to rush something out that's not of the quality that we expect. So,
Yeah.
you know,
There is a small gap, I feel like, between. I mean, we looked at the timeline. We've got Star Wars Outlaws coming out end of this
mm,
month. And then September 13th, we've got, and I don't know, I still haven't been able to find if they're releasing the whole Build the Galaxy Star Wars Lego, which
yeah,
looks pretty
that
funny.
looks awesome.
Yeah. If they're releasing that whole thing at once or
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing with it. But so that comes out in September.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Jedi Lex. How are you? Thanks for joining us, Lex. Um, we're just talking about D23. What was your favorite thing from D23, Lex? Or what was we're talking about things that surprised us, and we're on animation right now. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the timeline. So then September 13th, you get that. Then we have October, November, and then not till December 3rd do we
December
get
3rd.
the Skeleton Crew. So there's a little
Mm-hmm.
window there. If it was something, I don't know. I was assuming we're going to find out why they resurrected Asajj
Massage.
Ventress
Mm-hmm.
from the depths of the depths of that lake on Dathomir. Which,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess not. I mean,
gotta hope they still have plans for it. Like I said, the only thing you can really hitch your wagon to is, maybe they just don't have time. They don't have the right personnel, the people to shepherd that through and make sure that it comes out right. If they're just going to keep that on the back burner and maybe it's coming later. But
trying to think of the
it's,
lady's name. I want to say Jennifer Corbett, but I can't remember if I'm confusing that um, with the Acolyte because we just got done watching that, or if she was the name. There was an assistant that supposedly is doing a ton of work on animation and kind of taken on Bad Batch, I believe, kind of like starting to fill Filoni's role so that
mm,
he can move to the live action stuff. But my
yeah.
internet is working super fast for some reason. Uh, so in 20 minutes when we get there, I'll
Yeah.
let you know. But
Cool.
yeah, so I think it's Jennifer Corbett. I not off the top of my head, I can't remember. But
It happens when you
yeah, I
get
don't know. I
old.
just maybe that was enough though. Like they announced a ton of stuff. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the things we know are coming are great. I get, the other thing that we didn't get any information on really was the Ray movie. I figured there might be some little teaser for that too, but nothing there.
I don't think we're getting
But
anything until Celebration for that.
yeah, that's
Personally,
probably a good point. Yeah.
yeah. Jedi Lex says she switched over to YouTube. I really enjoyed the Skeleton Crew trailer. Yeah, we just talked
Hmm.
about that. We both like that. Very Goonies, Stranger Things vibes. I'm excited about it. Was shocked to see the Razor Crest and Zeb as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
as we're kind of gonna get into the Mando here in a little bit. Um, so we no animation announced. I would not.
Well,
I
maybe
I
I
believe
wouldn't
it's there. I
think.
just don't think that
Yeah.
they're ready to. They were. I mean, maybe it's just they're waiting for something else. I don't know what else they have
Yeah.
coming up, but and then of course we got
Maybe all their
no.
animation people are working on the Lego movie. Although I doubt it. I think that's a completely different
Yeah, I think
studio.
they're
But
different. But let me see. I'm looking for Bad Batch here. See what the name was. I apologize when this starts playing by accident. So, but yeah, what did you think? While we're talking about that, nothing on the acolyte either, right?
Nothing.
That was kind of weird. That makes
Yeah,
me a little bit nervous that
it does.
maybe we're not getting it.
And I hope they don't just let that die. I don't know. Maybe we can inspire a fan, uh, all the fans to get behind it and try to push for it. Maybe the
Carrie
24 or
Beck,
25 people that watch this.
yeah, Carrie Beck is the co-executive producer on the Bad Batch, and supposedly she was carrying a lot of the. From what I've read and
Mhm.
things that we hear, she was carrying a lot of the weight, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. While Dave was off doing, he's got his hands in everything, literally in
Yeah,
everything in Star Wars
yeah.
now.
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, so there's that. Uh, Major says, don't forget about money. Things seem to be kind of foggy with where their finances are in relation to Disney and Lucasfilm. That's a very
Yeah.
good point. Eric says, good point about celebration, Jimmy. They're probably saving their big stuff for Japan. I would think so. I
Yeah.
think
The timing of that just
that
seems right.
our RFB's here. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Appreciate it, everyone. RFB says, I
Absolutely.
think the name you're looking for is Brad Rao. Yeah, Brad Rao is there too, but Jennifer Corbett is also involved in that, writer, producer. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I think they all kind of work. And then May just said, was there any other word, another season of Ahsoka? We do know that they're working on Ahsoka already, but there were no announcements from my understanding.
Right.
It was all about um, Andor, Skeleton Crew, um, and then, of course, what am I forgetting?
Andor, Skeleton Crew, and Mando.
Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't announce anything as far as Ahsoka that I heard of, but all that stuff is so intertwined that they have to work. You know what I mean? Like, I suppose if they really wanted to, they could just let the acolyte die because it's not
well,
really intertwined with anything else. You know what I mean? But
we've got books. We've
Ahsoka's
got
got to keep going.
yeah. And that's Dave's baby. I mean, Ahsoka. He
Yeah.
created
Yeah.
Ahsoka.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. What was it? Was it in Mando that they mentioned Ezra Bridger's speech? One of the trailers had it had to be Mando, right? That's the only thing that's coming out that's attached with or along the timeline. It wouldn't have made sense with I can't remember now, but there was uh some little mention of Ezra Bridger. Just let you know that it's all meshed in and it's all tied
Yeah, I
together.
mean, I feel like because they talked about the Skeleton Crew being integral to that story, so
Hmm.
I feel like those connections are going to start getting made in this series.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some crossover from something. I mean, we've already got Vane the pirate
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
season 3 of Mando coming into this season,
Yeah.
so there's some stuff there. But um, yeah,
It was interesting with that guy too. Remember, I sent you that link to what was a fake trailer, and that dude, that
Mike got
pirate
his
was in
first
that
Darth trailer.
trailer.
Yeah, Mike got
So
his
that
first one.
dude, yeah, that dude knew something because he had that guy in it. But
Yeah, Mike got his first Darth trailer.
uh huh, like,
Overexcitement. I
is
know
this
when
something? Is this anything?
yeah, like yeah. So people don't know Darth trailer makes all these trailers. The problem with it is you got to look for stuff that's already happened.
Yeah,
Like you got to look
that's
for the footage of
it
things
dawned
and
on me
like
afterwards. Oh
yeah.
yeah, I've seen
So
that before.
that's what gets me. The guy makes great videos and it's
Yeah,
fun, but man, he made me mad a few times when I realized that it
yeah.
wasn't real. So
But like I said,
um,
he knew he must have had some insider knowledge. He knew that guy was going to be in uh, this
well, yeah,
series.
we
But
knew. Yeah, I mean, they had announced that previously that Vane
okay.
was crossing over. One during Celebration, they made some reference to it, and
Mm.
then of course the actor was down at Rebel Scum Con, and he
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
say much. They had a small
yeah,
panel, and they're like, "Yeah, it's fun."
yeah.
That's all we can. That's all we've heard. I mean, a lot of negativity coming out about some things, but we have people. we're very fortunate to have some of the friends that we have for the show, but people that
Mhm.
work at Legacy Effects, the ones that bring like um, the Loth Cats, and I mean, more the most important thing they've probably done is Grogu. But
Yeah.
they said the people that were on that, they had a lot of fun doing it and really enjoyed it. So I'm just going to go off of what they've said because they haven't steered us wrong yet. So we'll
Yeah.
see. But yeah, so there's that, and of course we got the, like Lex said, we got the Mando and Grogu, which still is a weird movie name to me, the Mandalorian and
Yeah.
Grogu. But I get why they're doing it. They want Grogu. I mean, that's going to
Oh
sell.
yeah, you got to have that guy in there. Yep.
Get those little kids to come and
Got to
watch
keep
it.
his name in the headlines.
But what did you think of that footage?
That might be the one trailer. I'm trying to remember if I actually saw that trailer or not, because
You would
it's
have
not
had to have gone on like Twitter or Instagram and found
okay.
someone who
So I'm
posted
not
it.
on Twitter, so I definitely didn't do that.
Well,
Yeah,
content.
I don't think I did see any footage for that.
Let me see if I can find it while we're chatting. But yeah, so in that there is um, Zeb Aurelius, Zeb
Hmm.
from, he shows up in the end of Mando season 3. He's flying a Razor Crest in this, and
Yeah.
the Mando's standing behind him with his hand on his shoulder. There's a scene where the Mando and Grogu are coming down this hill with on an AT walker, like from the Clone Wars, like the two-legged walkers, where they're
Yeah.
riding like it's like almost like a motorcycle, whatever. And they come around this corner, and there's two AT-ATs or AT-ATs, however you want to call them,
I like
and
that.
yeah, and so there's that. There's just some little things here. There's snow troopers. People think that was the planet Hoth. Like there, all these, and there's not enough speculation or not enough information to really go up. I don't think, um,
Yeah.
but it looks cool.
Yeah.
My thing is it all going to be CGI? Like, is that what we're going to? Like, I mean,
We talked about this before with how much are they going to use the volume and different things and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope, like we talked about, the CGI and the use of the volume is all great if it's used properly and not to the greater extent that it's all shot on the volume or it's all CGI that just isn't meshing. I mean, it's all that stuff's great used in moderation and used properly, but yeah, let's hope it's not all just shot on a green screen.
yeah. I mean, I'm a little. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous about this movie being.
Yeah.
But I know what the potential could be. Like John
Oh
Favreau
yeah.
brought us Iron Man.
Hmm.
Like, and I don't want to
Hmm.
repeat everything I said in the podcast, but the guy knows how to make movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that campiness of Iron Man, like I love that first Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
If we can get that in Mando, that'll be cool.
That would be great.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I have a lot of faith that it's going to be good. I mean, what? How many? 3 seasons of The Mandalorian are out, right? And
yeah,
the first two were really good, so
yeah.
it should be
That's
all
fair
right.
assessment in my eyes, but yeah.
Yeah, and I was wondering too. I don't know if they're going to have what the Mandalorian Starfighter in this, or if it's just going back to the Razor Crest. But I thought back to you guys' interview with Brendan Wayne and how much he complained about getting into and out of the Starfighter and how much better the Razor Crest was. Wonder if he had a little input in bringing back the Razor Crest.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, he did. I mean, they kept the specs for Anakin and little Anakin and getting in and out of that in the suit. And it's silly is like, I've not really ever cosplayed before. And I'm not in a 501st person, but I did do that Uncle Lorian thing the other day.
Yeah,
And that was just cardboard. You can't
right.
move.
I know.
Like, I couldn't do anything. It was
Hmm.
point. I had it on for like 10 minutes, took
Yeah,
some photos with the kids. They all thought it was cool. And then we were trying to play and I couldn't move. I was getting shot.
can't
I
move.
kept looking, it's Beskar. But I ended up ripping it all off and then just plugging little kids, pow, pow, pow,
Yeah,
pow, pow, with Nerf guns. So, but yeah, like, so I can imagine he's probably like, hey, can we, because the idea that I think the name of it, the Razor Crest, because I thought that was like because of how like they kind of changed Boba Fett's ship to the, and RFB, if you're on here still, let me know if I'm wrong. But isn't Razor Crest the style of ship? Kind of like
could
what
be
the fire spray or what used to be called Slave
Slave
One, but
One. Yeah,
fire spray I think is the version of the ship.
the
But
type.
that's kind of
Yeah,
Jack's. specialty is knowing all the ships.
Yeah,
But
the ship guy.
so, but yeah, and then of course, I mean, there was tons of stuff. And folks, if you like Disney and you're excited to see what's out, there's tons of stuff coming. There's Marvel stuff, which I really enjoyed the what was it? The I am losing my brain, man. Going back to school is killing me. Daredevil stuff from Netflix. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed that, so that I'm excited for. Um, Let me see here if I can do
that's
this.
probably the one Marvel thing that I am really excited about. Other than I did get to see um, Deadpool and Wolverine finally on Friday. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I really
But
enjoyed it.
that's, I mean, that's out there. The only thing that's coming is from Marvel, though. The Wolver or Daredevil. I love that series on Netflix. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it at Disney now.
All right, Major says the Razor Crest is the type class of ship. So
Okay, good to know.
I do have another Razor
I
Crest.
trust
And
him.
yeah, I would definitely trust that man with his knowledge of all things geeky.
Yes.
So nerdy. He kind of honestly may just he's kind of responsible for a lot of the stuff that we got into.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
always brought it to the forefront with this is back in the day of like
Hmm.
magazines and stuff, and he'd be like, "Hey, look at this,"
Yeah.
and with
Yep.
so
Always on the
he
forefront of that stuff.
yeah, he's very cool. Thanks, Mike. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything else really from D23. No animation, no Acolyte 2
Well,
news.
other than the Lego thing,
Lego, yeah. So, how you
yeah,
feeling about the
we didn't
Lego?
talk much about that. Oh my god, it's so much fun. I've I really like the idea of adding some humor to Star Wars. Taking a little of the piss out of it. Uh,
Yeah,
I love the Jedi Bob. That's just funny. And I was thinking about that guy's name and thinking about I texted you a while back, just walking out on the mail route. Sometimes the brain just gets going. I had this idea of like a 60-year-old Jedi knight who can't make master because he's got a 40-year-old Padawan who just can't get over the hump. I just was thinking about how funny that could be. The Padawan balding as a paunch, crappy Padawan
yeah,
braid, just the hilarity that could ensue with that. It, sometimes take things too seriously. It'd be nice to see something funny from Star Wars, and
yeah,
we're getting it with this Lego thing. So
yeah. I'm pretty excited for it. I almost hope it's weekly for 4 weeks.
yeah,
It kind of
that
eats
would
up
be
some of that
good.
downtime, and we're not
Something
having
funny
to
to look
like,
forward to.
yeah, not
And what
having to.
when does it release again, or do we know?
September 13th is the release.
September.
I want to see if I can find while we're chatting. Um,
So something to take our minds off it as we work up to the election. Be
yeah,
great.
yeah. Lego rebuild the galaxy. Let me see. How is Lego rebuild the galaxy?
I love Mark Hamill's little bit in the trailer too. Like, why
Yeah,
would I
no,
want to come back?
yeah. I mean, recapping the whole.
Uh-huh.
Just like Star Wars with Disney. Yeah, I'm trying to find if it's all dropping at once. If so, but I'll try to find it if I can. Let me see. I got some Wikipedia. That'll be good. Guess I can check IMDb. Nope, they're all dropping on the September 13th.
Same day.
Original release date September 13th. So,
Well, you always have the option of watching one
I
a
don't
week
have the
yourself.
strength to. I don't
Yeah.
have the
Depends on how long they are.
Yeah, that's true. That's
If they're
true.
half an hour, like I might be able to watch half an hour a day for 4 days or something like that. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
See what life brings, kind of time I have when I get there.
I mean, because it will just be September 13th. That'll be 2 weeks. We're closing in on beating Galaxy or Outlaws probably around that time.
Oh yeah.
So that'll depend.
I go on vacation September 10th or something like that. I got a nice vacation coming up in September. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. But anything else that you can think of from D23 news that kind of grabbed you that we missed on Saturday or
I
Sunday? Or
No, I think we've recapped it all. I got everything out there that I wanted to say, I think.
all right. May just says you have the good fortune of not being on Twitter and seeing the Star Wars discourse over there. And RFB says Twitter for me anymore is just to look and read. I tell you what, since we've started putting ourselves out there more, that's always something you risk. You put yourself
Yeah.
out there. The only time that we've had any trouble, I mean, we've gotten hammered, but the only time it really got out of control was on Twitter
Mm,
when it was the bromance between Callus and Zeb, and people took it to a
mm.
place that I was not expecting, and it just turned. We ended up having, I think, like shut down all the stuff because I was just like,
Yeah.
that's not what I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
I
Well,
get it. I'm not against gay couples. Don't get me there. They were just saying things that I was like, damn, like why is that where your brain is? Like it bothered me. The relationship idea, I could
right.
see that. I could see it if I mean animation is probably not going to do that, but
Probably not, but
um, I was um, just kind of dumbfounded by some of the things and how vulgar people seem to be on Twitter. And I don't know if it's maybe because I don't see it all on Instagram the way you see it on Twitter and all that stuff,
yeah.
but Instagram seems to be a little calmer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hardly on anything. I just reactivated my IG because we're doing this stuff. So,
All right. Well, anybody else have anything from D23? RFB, what did you see from D23 that you loved? Eric, if you guys are still on here. Lex, anyone that's on here, you guys have anything? And I know there's a little lag. We've gone back to Riverside, the platform, and we're messing with it a little bit. So there's some lag. There was before, um, but I thought I had fixed it where it should have been almost instantaneous, but I don't feel like it is yet. That might be my internet. I'm not sure, but we're gonna keep working on it, folks, so we can be a little bit more interactive with everybody
responsive.
that's on here. That's the whole point of the show is that Mike and I don't have to talk the whole time. We can or come up with
Yeah.
all the ideas. You guys can kind of help lead us, and we got lots of good people on here with lots of great ideas. So, um, but yeah, so let's move away from D23, and if you guys want to still talk about it or tell us what you loved, please don't be afraid to let us know. But now we're going to kind of jump over to this topic: Jedi that survived Order 66. When Mike and I were discussing this show, um, the big thing for me was, like we have our main show and we do the recaps and things. And so, like, where we have enough content and blah, blah, blah. And Mike's been, we've talked about it. Mike's kind of, since the podcast has started, kind of went through and just destroyed everything on Star Wars on Disney Plus. It's watched it all, almost all of it.
Yeah.
We still need to watch the Caravan of Courage Ewok movies and stuff. But uh, we're like, well, what are some questions, like some of the issues and things like that? And this is like the first thing you brought up, right? Was like who
Yep.
survived Order 66? Because when we're growing up, it's just Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you know, um, so what is Major saying? What is the best platform to view this? I think it's YouTube right now, Mike. But I don't know how laggy this is being. Like I said, we're trying to work out some of the bugs. So, and then what did Eric say? He said excited about Mando being on the big screen. Yeah, that'll be great. Hopefully, Eric and I will get to go see that because he's in there. RFP says I can still watch the Andor's teaser through a Patreon Discord I'm on. Looks fantastic. And then Mike says, "Gotta remember those Ewok movies when they are aired on ABC back in the day." Yeah. So, um, what is that? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Whoopsie. Okay, I'm not sure what I just downloaded by accident, but
Uh-oh.
so Jedi that survived Order 66. Now, I went through and I looked up some stuff. I got like a definitive, it's like screenrant.com. I'll give these guys the credit they deserve. They have, let me see if I can share this real quick with everybody. Um, they have
Yeah,
this
it's a long
article up.
list, is it not?
Yeah, and they start at 29, but then they kind of lump
Hmm.
people together,
Yeah,
and I
they
feel
do.
like they've missed some people. This came out in July of 2024, so it's not an old
Hmm.
article. Like this is pretty
Right.
up to date. I think it has a lot to do with like when Tales of the Empire came out, and they kind of added some stuff to it. So we'll kind of slide through this, but and it has like the status Grandmaster Yoda
Mhm.
deceased and things like that. But and of course we know Obi-Wan Kenobi and
Mhm.
Ahsoka and Maul. So we know the status is unknown. We don't know exactly what's going on. Well, we know Maul's dead, right? Because he
Right.
gets his in Rebels,
Kenobi
which is
finished
kind
him.
of weird that they're not
Yeah, it
always.
didn't update that.
Yeah, they didn't update that.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, when I had come up with this topic, it was really just an excuse to talk about my two favorite Jedi, Cal Kestis and Kanan Jarrus. But then I looked at this article and like, oh my god, where did all these guys come from? Because,
Well, the
like you
thing,
said, it used to be Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that was about the extent of it. And then since then, the world has built out and built out and built out, and now there's all kinds of people. The clones were not nearly as effective as we thought.
not against the Jedi, no, that's for sure. But the first one that really kind of jumped out at me, Keller and Beck and Grogu, the unknown status, and I know having met Ahmed and seen him speak at Rebel ScumCon, just what in June, end of June, uh, he's hyped for Keller and Beck. He wants a
Yeah.
John Wick movie with Keller and Beck. I don't know if Star Wars is really going to go down that route, but that was the first one, and then that would have happened. What is that? 19 BBY, I think. That's when everything kind of tumbles. Um, the
You know,
Purge.
that would be really fun though. Like I mentioned, like Star Wars kind of going dipping its toe into the comedy ring, but there are so many different ways you could take things with Star Wars doesn't always have to be the Jedi saga or the Skywalker saga or the Rebel saga. Or, it doesn't always have to be the same thing in the same layout, the same like kind of like Visions does. It branches off into different types of animation, different type of storytelling. Why can't they do that with shows and movies and stuff like that too? Could you imagine like a Keller and Beck? This is how he went out, like just like a John Wick story where he gets his, but in the end, he's
Yeah.
probably going to end up done. But how much fun
I've
would that be?
been saying like, why
Like a
not like
straight up action.
why not a cop show set in the Star Wars universe?
Yeah, why not?
Like,
We got some of that in the Clone Wars. There's a
yeah, I
couple
mean,
episodes where, yeah,
yeah, and you can imagine the fun you could have with
absolutely.
all the technology you could use and how you could find people and the aliens and like all
Hmm.
this. I mean, it could be nuts if you have some
Epic.
creative minds.
Hmm.
You could do you could do all kinds of cool things with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I think
I think like
sometimes they're too precious with the brand, and they want to stick with what they know and what's safe. But man, just it's a wide world.
yeah,
Open it
I
up.
would agree. And I think that for it to maintain, they're gonna have to do something. You know, um, a lot of people would argue that Jedi and things like that, but I mean Andor is pretty popular, and there is no
Yeah,
Jedi
not a single one.
yet in that,
Hmm.
and I can't imagine that Tony Gilroy was going to bring them into it because he doesn't really like
No,
Star Wars. He just
wouldn't
really
make
likes
sense.
writing amazing stories. But
Hmm.
um, what it made you see if they wanted to do comedy, they can bring back the Tag and Bank. I'm not sure I get that reference, Tag and Bank. Mike, let me know what that is.
Yeah.
Can pretty much thank the Star Wars Marvel comics that told the greater numbers of Jedi Force users that survived Order 66. Yeah,
Oh
there are a
yeah.
ton.
When you get to the
And
end of that Screen Rant article, there's a lot about the comics. Yeah.
yeah, because the second Vader run, I think it's by Charles Soule, the guy who started the High Republic and will be finishing the High Republic.
Hmm.
Uh, that's when we got like the first time I've seen them bleeding the Kyber crystal
Yeah.
in canon when he kills that Jedi that's on that list. But um, can Keller and Beck still be alive? That happens 19 BBY. He looks like he's just
I mean,
human.
yeah. I
Oh,
doubt
I
he's
know
still
who Tag and
alive.
Bink are. Okay, Mike. Yeah. So he says they're the Dark Horse comic story. Those two clumsy Imperial guards that kind
Oh,
of screw
okay.
everything up, I think. Um, the Skeleton Crew, Mando and Grogu, we don't know why everything has afterbeat, but he'd be really old because Force
Yeah.
Awakens takes place 34 ABY, 34 ABY, 35 ABY is, and
Well,
then
he wouldn't
Ray's
even have to
Jedi
be.
Order is going to be 50 ABY. So
Yeah.
even if he was 20 and he had gray hair and that they didn't cover it up, he'd
Yeah.
be 70-year-old Jedi.
Right.
But Jedi do live longer. I
Jedi.
mean,
Yeah. And he doesn't need to live until the current date in Star Wars to explore his character more or have
yeah,
a movie. Like it could be set at any time. It's a big galaxy.
yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I got some homework to do. Am I right? Nobody not dead. Nobody not dead. Oh, no body not dead. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. No, I mean, so minor characters just kind of fumble their way through the saga. Yeah, that's all right. I think I know who they're talking about now. Um, yeah. So Keller and Beck, and then you were saying Cal Kestis, right?
Hmm.
I think there's so much they could do with Cal, but
Yeah.
let me see that they had Jedi Survivor on this, if I'm not
Do
mistaken.
they have a plan for another Jedi Survivor video game? Is there a third
Yeah,
one coming
it's in
around?
the works. I mean, they.
Okay.
I feel like it was obvious how the second one ended. They
Yeah.
had a third
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
planned. Cal Kestis, Jedi Star Wars Survivor, takes place 9 BBY. He's probably in his 20s, right, during that.
Something like that.
So he would be, again, almost 70.
Hmm.
Unless, and this is my prediction, and this is just because I want them to bring this guy live action. What if things work differently in Talinor? Right, Talinor? That's the name of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if time
Yeah. The
works
planet that.
differently in different galaxies? Kind of like, do you remember that crazy Interstellar movie
Hmm.
where like he's stuck on that planet and
Yep.
everyone
The
else is
closer
like aging
you
up
get to
around
the.
him?
Yep.
And
The closer you get to the
so,
black hole, the slower time goes.
yeah. So, what if you're traveling through those? Protea could be the same thing.
Hmm.
Who knows? And I feel like
I
those
mean,
could kind of come together, but
absolutely. I mean, there's been lesser plot devices than that. So,
World Between Worlds could jump into it too,
yeah.
especially if if something crazy goes down in Ahsoka, like World Between Worlds shows back up. I don't know, but you start getting 70-year-old Jedi. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how effective they're going to be, but if they're also both, if Cal is still training people, let's say he's training
Hmm.
that girl, he's training Bode's daughter, and then he, they find more Jedi or whatever to take them there. Depending on how the third game ends, they
Hmm.
could have a small army
Yeah.
ready to come
And
and help Ray in the movie.
the
I
input,
don't know.
the input from a Jedi like that to rebuilding the order, like the thing I like most about Cal Kestis and Kanan Jarrus is they're not they're not like the other Jedi. They survive in a world where the Jedi are hunted and persecuted, so they have to be different. They can't run around in Jedi robes. They can't, pull out their lightsabers at, you know, any old
Yeah,
time. They have to maintain a low profile. They both have ladies.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
And they both use blasters. They adapt to what the world was, what the world is at the time, and you know that's one of the biggest gripes about the Jedi is they're so dogmatic, stuck in their ways. How much better would the Jedi? I mean, how many fewer problems would the Jedi have if they were allowed to have relationships? You know, the strongest unit is the family unit. You know what I mean? Like it's the Catholic Church. How many problems do they have? Because their priests aren't allowed to marry. You know.
I Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that at length, and the more I read the stories of the Jedi, the more I think they caused most of their own trouble.
Right.
trying to do the right thing. But I don't know if I know people are angry that like the Jedi are the bad. I don't think people are painting them as the bad guys. I think they're showing that like it would be impossible to maintain
Hmm.
that sort of. Um,
And that's kind of what I'm getting at too. It is impossible to be this ideal that the Jedi try to be. Why why fight against human nature? If not that you need to give in to all your primal instincts and just, do whatever. I mean, these are strong, powerful people with access to a superpower, so it has to be controlled in some way. But I mean, having a family, you're so much more stable, like you have something to live for, you have something to fight for, that it just, to me, would make the Jedi Order so much better.
yeah, I see, and I've gone back and forth on this conversation, and one of these days we're actually going to dive into this topic. I feel like the topic is like a series because it's going to take a lot of discussion, but I see that and I agree with you because I love seeing like Cal Kestis and Kanan in the relationships. They're happy. It grounds them.
Hmm.
But then, of course, Kanan, he seems to have handled it. He sacrifices himself like a Jedi should,
Hmm.
um, and he does what he's supposed to. I mean, we've seen Cal tap into the dark side already once. We've seen what Anakin has done because of relationships. I think that it's a double-edged sword, really, right?
Yeah,
Because
it could be.
like
I
think
mean,
about like anything is like they go after your family. Are you going to
mhm.
stay calm?
No, that's true.
And that's
But
and that's where I think because I think that you're right. I think that they would be better if like complain about Vernestra Rowe and how she's hiding all this information and she's this
mhm,
monster almost in the Acolyte, whereas she's this amazing young Jedi in the books. But by
mhm,
the time 100 years later, she's jaded and she's not the same person. If she had someone to go and talk to every night, a
right.
spouse or a
Mhm,
partner,
mhm.
whatever,
Yeah,
that could, but then also on the flip side, and I think they're actually. I know you're only in phase one still of High
I
Republic.
am on the Eye of the Nihil, or which,
Okay. Oh,
whatever
so you're
that
yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you get to Temptation of the Force,
Mhm.
there's something gonna be happening in that book. And, I mean, you can tell from the cover of it what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
so they're gonna test your theory. I think.
Mhm.
I think the last book in this series is gonna test your theory and how some of the authors. I mean, obviously, like they can take it any direction they want to.
Right.
Um, we're going to have. Hopefully, we're having an author, one of my favorite authors, come on the show here pretty soon. And I'm going to. Some of my questions are about things like that, not
Yeah.
specifics, but yeah, I think it's like we were talking today about education. There's no right answer. Like
No.
everything is like you could handle it as a Jedi, right? Maybe you're like, okay, I've made this thing. I can't let my emotions get control of me. They have my family. I'm going to be calm and go in there. I'm going to take care of business. Whereas Jedi Bob over here loses his marbles because he's not as good of a Jedi as you, kind of
Right.
thing. So, I mean, I think that
But
it,
to
it,
me,
it
I mean, I get your point there. But if, to me, whether you're gonna have that anyways. Like, they're different
they
Jedi are
have
gonna handle things
relationships, though.
differently.
They have good
Yeah.
friends. They have brother. You were my brother,
But
Anakin, right? I
mhm,
mean,
mhm. But how much better would it be if, like you've said, if they didn't have to hide everything? If
yeah, I
Anakin
think
didn't have
that
to hide his relationship and he was
I
able to
think
talk to somebody.
that is a flaw of the Jedi Order that, like, when I said in my that last video I made, can the Rey Order can she
Hmm.
fix it? Can she try something
And
new?
that's why if a Jedi like Cal Kestis were able to survive through to that point where,
Especially with a Night Sister.
right, he's married, eh, probably gonna have little Night Sister kids at some point.
Yeah. Ooh, Night
If
Sister
he's
Jedis.
Yeah, and if he's still a strong, stable individual at that point, like there's your example of what could be. I mean, to me, it's
I don't
just
think
like,
you're wrong. I just think
yeah,
I mean I agree with you. I've gone through this conversation in my head and with Jack and even with Taylor back in the day a little bit. And I mean the plan's always been to dive into this Jedi, the Jedi question, really. Like,
Yeah,
you
because
know, and I
to
think
me,
once we get closer to the Ray movie, maybe that's something we do as a build up towards the Ray movie.
yeah,
Is like, what changes would you make? Because like Jack and I, we did that on the
mm,
show on today that came out today, and we are like, and that was my last question with Order 66. Is like, what would you change about the Jedi? And we both said the same thing. We said it a little bit differently, but we
mm,
said that they need to have like Jedi therapist or
yeah,
someone you can
yeah.
talk to, or
Hmm.
but
Well, to
uh,
me, it's like, the Jedi Order. I'm sure, like, it's like anything else. It starts as one thing, and it evolves. And
yeah,
rules get
you
made
have to.
because people do stupid things.
Yep.
So, like, all the warning labels on things, you don't need those for most people. But every
No,
warning label that's on anything is somebody was dumb enough to do that.
like the
So
hot
it's
on
kind of,
coffee at McDonald's.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's the same thing if you really delve into like whatever the lore would be of the Jedi Order. Some point somebody did something stupid, and up we got to have a rule for that, and then
yeah.
on and on and
And
on
they
down
just
the
kind
line,
of
and this is
blanket
what you
it.
come up with. Uh-huh.
And I mean, just the stuff that
And
was
it's
happened today in my school. We're like, that's not how to fix it, but I don't know how to fix it. Like, I don't know how the
yeah.
Jedi would fix it. We have a new listener, a new follower. So Jay Deliberio. I'm sorry if I'm sure I'm jacking that up. When the Jedi forbade attachment, that's when their downfall began. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, you could see it that way. Uh, May just says that depends on where they want to take the characters and the stories they want to tell. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because we can have all the ideas we want, but if
Yeah.
Charles Soule or Caban Scott or Tessa Gratton or Dave
Hmm.
Filoni and John Favreau want to take it a different direction and prove you don't want to have attachments, like
Yeah.
we'll be. I mean, there's nothing we can do
Right.
but
And
debate it.
ultimately, this is a story that somebody's telling us,
Yeah,
and we're making a lot more out of it than is actually there. But it is like all art mirrors life, and that's why and how we have these conversations is because
yeah,
you could
oh yeah,
take the art that
100%.
you love and apply it to your life, and uh, all this conversation comes about.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Um, I yeah, I think there's a whole episodes multiple on the flaws of the Jedi Order because that was the big question. Like, did Order 66 need to happen to reset the Jedi Order? And a lot of
Yeah, and
people who
I
said
thought
yes,
that
a lot
was
of people said no.
I I thought it was
So
crazy. Anybody that said yes, like it's nuts to think that, like I said, this is all make believe, and it had to happen to make us hate storytelling wise. It had to happen to make us hate
yeah,
the empire and on and on. But if you take it out, like I said about our art mirroring the real world, if you take that out and you try to apply it to the real world to decimate an entire group just because you don't agree with them is crazy.
thank you, Hitler.
Absolutely
Right? I
nuts.
mean,
Like,
like, yeah, it
let's
is
talk this
crazy. Like,
out. There's a way
yeah,
around this. We don't you know look at
but
what happened.
yeah, I mean, I would agree. Jay said, I just turned in. Did you mention if you've read Temptation of the Forest or yet? Yes, I have. And I told
You have. I have not
Mike
yet.
that
It's
I
on my
think
reading list.
he's 2 books away from it. So
Yeah.
he'll be there pretty soon. I told him like the idea of attachment, it's going to play itself out. I think, or
Yeah.
not. It plays itself out. It it starts in this book, and then I believe it's going to in Charles Soule's last book. It's going in the last book of the thing. It's going to
Yeah.
go one way or the other. I have
Yeah.
my theories because of how this character has dealt with things in the past, what's going to happen necessarily, but I don't think it's going to go the way you want it to go, Mike. But um, so,
Well,
but
obviously not.
I think that but I also think this is a bad character. Like this is the same example I said. Like you could do it, maybe I
Yeah.
couldn't do it. Like
Right. Yeah. Anytime you
yeah,
base something on one single person, it, you know, you're doing the wrong thing.
yeah, for sure. Um, my thing on this list that I was looking at, they didn't
Uh huh.
talk about Quinlan Voss, and we got a mention
No,
of
they did
him
not.
in
Hmm.
Kenobi.
Kenobi.
They brought Asajj Ventress back. I know
Hmm.
you haven't read that. That should be up
Yeah.
there on the top of your list too. That's one
I
of the
know.
better
There's so
ones.
much, man. There's so
Yeah,
much.
it's hard, especially when you come in late to it, to keep up.
If your Audible subscription lets you just go book after book after book after book, and not just one or two books per, I'd be all caught up. But yeah, I mean, when I actually have to sit down and read something, it takes a little time.
Yeah, it does take a
And like I
minute.
said last week, there's so much good stuff coming out. Like it's hard to
And I
get
want to
it
go
all
back
in.
and read stuff. I know we have Maria on the
Yeah.
show, and she does a lot of sewing, and she
Hmm.
says that I mean, she's listened to each book like 2 or 3 times because she's just
Yeah.
listening to them while she's sewing. And
Hmm.
but what do you say? I say to focus on chapter 47 for this topic. No spoilers, but I took notes on it. Haha. All right, very cool. Because I know one of those chapters gets a little steamy.
Mm.
So, and Manga says, "My boy Voss, yeah, Quinlan, he gets put through the ringer in Dark Disciple. You just never know where he really is at, and then of course we don't know what happens to him. Like that was kind of weird that they left him off the list, especially when he
Yeah.
shows up with Kenobi.
Yeah, because like you
And
said too, it's a relatively recent article. All this stuff's out there. It's not like from 10 years ago or something.
yeah, so there's that. I wonder if like some of that animation stuff that they haven't released, like I if he's alive, he's going to show up if they do something with the Saw's Ventress, which some of us
Yeah.
are speculating, and it's all speculation, based on conversations we've had with people and um, things like that. But he's going to show up eventually. They wouldn't have name dropped him in Kenobi for no
Right.
reason. I mean, or just that's just a nice shout to
Yeah.
Star Wars fans. So, but I thought that was weird that they left him out. I'm trying to go through the Grand Inquisitor, of course, all the Inquisitors, Cara
Yeah.
Doom, Luminar, we know she's dead. Riva, we don't know where she's at.
No.
I mean, she could still be around. She, I mean, I know some people don't want her to be around, but wasn't a huge fan of her character. But give
Yeah.
that actress an opportunity to bring that character to the big screen or have better. I think
Hmm.
her writing was
Yeah.
suspect in that, and I mean, all I felt like she did was scream at everybody. I feel
Yeah.
like they treated her the way they treated Oscar Isaac in the prequels or the sequels, because if you watch Dune,
Hmm.
Oscar Isaacs can act his butt off, but
Yeah.
all he does
Yeah.
in the 6 or 7, 8, 9 is scream. I'm like,
Mhm.
why is he yelling all the time? So um, we got fifth brother, seventh sister. They're both dead.
Yep.
Trilla did. Seer
Hmm.
did. Cal Kestis, we don't know. Terran Malikos, what a jerk. That was a tough battle
Yeah.
fighting that
Yeah.
able. I'm glad he's dead. And I'm by my hand, baby.
Yeah.
So Bucket,
Seer,
yeah.
Seer, I didn't realize how much of a badass she was, though.
Yo,
Like
she goes nuts
when
in
you
that
got
fight.
to play her in Survivor,
Yeah.
holy cow, that was
I know
great.
I was bummed that I didn't get to play as Marin. I was really hoping to get to be
Yeah.
Marin in this game.
Yeah.
But when you got to play Seer, I was like, all right, let's see
Jeez.
what this is about.
Hmm.
She is no joke.
Yeah.
And of course, Bode takes
Oh
Bode.
man. Oh
We're
man.
a family show, or I say some bad things about
Yeah,
Bode.
that dude.
He sucks. Jocasta Nu died with that big giant gun. Nari died. So apparently, Oppo Rancisis, I think Jay just said this too. Oppo Rancisis, Coleman, Kajak, Camus, Coley, and I only know Oppo Rancisis from this group. This is from the
Yeah.
comics. There's a whole list of
Oppo gets a
names.
mention in Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, so we haven't heard anything from him as a council member. He's old as hell.
He'd have to
Oppo
be.
is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, because they did the book, The Living Force, and that was 1 year before the Phantom Menace. And I can't remember how old he was. I mean, he's over 200 years old. I don't
Yeah.
know what the species. I'm not going to sit there and
Right.
look them all up, but even at 200 years old, he was part of it. Some pin boys. All right, thanks, Mike, for joining us. We appreciate your support, man.
Yeah,
Taking
buddy.
off and going to bed. So got 0600.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, Mike's
We're
only
probably
up
calling
for
it pretty
today.
soon too.
Yeah, we'll be done shortly. Gunji, there's one. Gunji the
Oh yeah,
Wookiee.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, I had this brief
We know
flirtation
he
with
could still be alive.
yeah, I had this brief flirtation with starting to build uh saber hilts. I built my first. I had a PVC that was just in my garage. Like, haven't finished it honestly, but I really wanted Gunji's lightsaber is freaking awesome. Like, if I could actually do woodwork, I would love to build his lightsaber. Like, just the wooden lightsaber. Oh man, it's just so cool. But yeah, go on. I just wanted to geek out about lightsabers for a minute.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember when R.I.P. Jackie when she grabs Kalnaka's
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
massive.
Mm-hmm.
But Gunji would still be alive, and he's young
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So he would be. I mean, he might not even be 100-year-old Wookiee yet. So
Right.
he could easily show up, which would be
That'd be
phenomenal.
awesome. Yes.
Phenomenal. Get him there. His little snaggle tooth. His cat and Talon. They both eat it in the book, which I still haven't finished that book yet. I need to. It's really good.
Yeah.
A bunch of different ones there. Jedi Master Kirak and Phila. That's the one that Vader finds in Charles Soule's Darth Vader, and he ends him. The kid from the Force Collector eats it. Trying to think of who else is left. So there's Mill Alabeth and Vervet Stag. Now Mill shows up in the Brotherhood book, I believe, and she's got like this issues where she can just feel everything from everybody, and it just
Mm,
overwhelms her.
yeah.
And it says that she's active, and so is this Vervet Stag. So I'm curious as to where she might be. She was name dropped in Hyperspace Stories 4 as working as bounty hunter, so you could
Hmm.
do that. Eth Koth ate it eventually. There's then there's the new Jedi. I'm assuming he's going to eat it, um, but the new Jedi Tenzu Run, who is like the um, Grand Inquisitor's first big go get him. I think the
Okay.
second one came out yesterday. Or no, it comes out tomorrow, I think. So I'll be going to get that at the comic book shop. But so he's there. I don't think he survives. And of course, I think this did come out because they have Barriss Offee, Lynn Rakish, and the unidentified human Jedi. And these were all the characters from the end of Barriss Offee's arc in the Tales of the Empire. And it says
Yeah,
that
I need to
Barriss.
watch that.
Have you not seen it?
No, no,
Oh, dude, you can
I
skip
know,
the
I know,
first
I know.
three, skip the
uh,
first three, and just watch the last three because I hated Barriss Offee. But by
yeah,
the end of those three episodes, it's like, all right, I can see this. I can go
she's
for
got
this.
a great arc. I mean, from her introduction in Clone Wars as Ahsoka's friend to Ahsoka's betrayer to
Yeah,
the stuff that I haven't seen yet, she's got a heck of an arc.
yeah, and we might be getting the actress who brought her to life in that. Where I got to hang out with him a little bit. And her, I'm not sure if they were married yet, but a very nice man that was with
Yeah.
her. I mean, I know they're boyfriend girlfriend. I'm not sure what their status was, but she, so maybe we get her on here and she can give us some insight to Barriss Offee a little
Wow.
bit. But so you have Barriss, although she looked pretty old
Yeah.
at the end of the series, but we don't know
But
when that
who
was.
knows? Yeah, and who
And
knows
then
with her
Lynn,
race how long she lives?
yeah, so she's Mary Allen, so who knows? I think there's enough, you know, Jedi that survive. I don't want to see any more. I don't want any more Jedi
No,
popping out of the woodwork, but
I mean I'm sure in the next Survivor game or Jedi game, I'm sure there's going to be two because everyone's had two at least, but most of them end up eating it. They're just bosses in a game that end up eating
yeah.
it. But yeah, I hopefully they don't add any more. It's like we said, it's just so weird that you start off with two guys that survive, and now it's half a dozen, and what we have
Yeah, and I
maybe
think,
three or four of them that may be still alive in the current timeline.
yeah, that's the thing too, is yeah, where they're at. I
And how
mean,
cool would it be, even if it's just one scene in the new Jedi movie, in the new Rey movie, you know, with just a Jedi council of these guys, these few remaining Jedi from that survived Order 66 all the way through. The couple people that we've mentioned, even if it's just here they are, that would be such a cool Easter egg.
Yeah, I think that would be nuts just to
Yeah.
see those characters all kind of brought together. Because I mean, we have Ezra, we have
Hmm.
Sabine now,
Yeah, we
we
didn't
have
talk. Yep.
Ahsoka. I mean, we've got
Yeah.
characters. I mean, we could have talked forever about this. I feel like there's a lot of characters out there that could come back, and
Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
and
it
you
all
can really
depends
go
on
down.
how
You
they
can really
deal
get
with
down the
them.
rabbit hole with Ahsoka and Sabine. Like
And
Ahsoka is
as
not a
yeah,
Jedi anymore, and Sabine barely can use the Force. Can she be a Jedi? What is that?
yeah, I think we'll find out. I mean, we have Shin Hati too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, she's kind of on the dark side of things, but I don't know
Oh,
if
we
we
still
really
have,
have
even though the actor
Balin.
died, we still have Balin. Yeah.
Yeah, my boy Balin.
Hmm.
Balin's boys. I'm gonna start a
You.
fan club, Balin's boys. But yeah, I mean, there's so many, and I love it. I like that they're all spread out and they're all doing their thing, and I'm sure there's more out there. But I think it'd be interesting to get them, bring them together, and I hope that something in Ray's
Hmm.
movie does that, like it can, or an
Yeah, it would be cool.
animation or something that can bring
Hmm.
the path or whatever. Because if they're
Hmm.
they're helping escort force sensitive kids out, and I think Asajj mentions that in Bad Batch as well. Then we got the mention of it in the video game, or in the video game that
Yep.
Tassir is doing, and then we have in Kenobi. I mean, we have all these things that are slowly kind of coming together, and get that vortex, and then
Hmm.
you're gonna have a whole storm of Jedi, possibly. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think there's a lot out there. I know we didn't deep dive too much into it, but
No,
I think there's
but
a lot of
it's
potential
such
for
a
it.
huge topic. Yeah, like there's so many branches you could take here and really dive in and go nuts. But we're already at an hour, so
What is making that noise? All right, sorry about that, folks. Something random on one of the things. I apologize. So, but yeah, all right. Well, Mike, you need to go deliver the mail tomorrow, don't you?
I do.
And I've got
Yep,
kids for
this
the
is my
first
long
time in
week.
two and a
Oh,
half months.
we both have a rough
So
day tomorrow.
both be sad. Both can be sad on the inside. So, um, yeah, I want to thank everybody for joining us. I know some of them left and they've said their goodbyes. RFB and Megas, Eric,
Yeah,
and all
thank
you
you so
guys,
much for joining
Jedi.
us.
We appreciate your support. We're going to keep trying to do this every Tuesday night. If you've got a topic that you want to discuss, you want us to discuss, you want to come on and get in the chat, and we'll read them off to everybody. I don't know if I can. Yeah, see, that's the only thing. Oh, hang on a second.
Working through things.
Oh, I can show it. See,
Mm.
I am working through the. There's a lot going on in this control panel here. I'm no star pilot quite yet. But we'll get it worked out, and let us know what you guys want to talk about, what you want us to talk about. And this is going to be an open forum like this, because I mean we barely even scratched the surface on
Yeah,
Jedi that
yeah.
survived Order 66, so we can always revisit it too.
Hmm.
Yeah, Jay, we appreciate that. We'd love to have you back every Tuesday. And if you have a topic you want to go on, you want to talk about, let us know.
Yeah, for
Mike,
sure.
you have any final words?
Like you said, if any ideas, exploretheforce@gmail.com. Shoot Jimmy an email, and we'll look into it. Yeah, this is fun. I can't wait till next Tuesday.
Yeah. Remember, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We're on X, but I'll be honest with you, we never ever use it. You
Yeah,
can get on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. It's private, but you can get in there. All of it's Explore the Force. Join us, follow us, subscribe, tell your friends. We're trying to build a really good community here. Um, and we'll see you guys next week. And for everybody
yeah.
that's involved, we have spoken. We'll see you guys all next week.
See ya.